I want to thank everybody for coming out today. My name is Chad Snow. I'm the chairman of Citizens for a Better Arizona. There is a saying that says the harder the conflict, the more glorious the triumph. And we are here today to announce a very glorious triumph for the state of Arizona. Randy Pottas is going to talk more about that in just a minute. Many people have asked me, why are you involved in this? And I just want to say, I've lived in Arizona my whole life. I love this state. I have 5 children that attend the public school system here in Arizona. I own a business here that depends on the economy. And I decided that I can no longer sit idly by and watch Russell Pearce drive this state off a cliff. I cannot sit idly by and let him take the education system that my children are enrolled in to new depths. And I want you to realize what Russell Pearce does as President of our Senate affects every single Arizonan. Now, a recall election is going to be held. There's no doubt about that. It'll most likely happen in November. And I want to call on the residents of LD18 out in Mesa to ask themselves a few questions. Do you want to live in a state that's already ranked next to last in our country in education and has just cut another $500 million from our education budget? Do you want to live in a state that is known nationwide and worldwide for hate and divisiveness and fear and racism? Do you want to live in a state that fights against sick people in need of transplants and unemployed people who are in a rough time because of our economy? Do you want to live in a state that puts more emphasis on a new state gun than on new jobs? According to yesterday's newspaper, Arizona has one of the bleakest job outlooks in the country right now under Russell Pearce's leadership. Now, Mr. Pearce and his paid minions have called our group into question. They've called our finances into question. They've called who our backers are into question. And I want to remind Mr. Pearce, this effort is not about us. It's not about the 1,100 people who either walked LD18 to get signatures or donated money online to our cause. It's about one person, and that's Russell Pearce. It's about his leadership being too extreme for our state and ruining our state. And I want to call on the press. We found some very interesting things out about Mr. Pearce's own finances in the last few days. If you look, which is public record, at Russell Pearce's financial disclosures from his 2010 campaign, you'll find that at our last count, as of our last count, only 8 people from his district donated money to Russell Pearce's campaign. He had more people from the state of Alabama donate to his campaign than people from LD18. He had more people from the states of California, Michigan, and Texas donate money to his campaign than from his own district. If you look at those disclosures, you'll see the first several pages are littered with lobbyists who donated maximum donations to Russell Pearce's campaign. You'll see Fiesta Bowl employees who made max donations to Russell Pearce's campaign. He threw a fundraiser for himself the day before the Senate went into session in January, hosted by dozens of lobbyists who paid several $100s each to curry favor with President Pearce. And I want the residents of LD18 to ask themselves, in light of all this, who does Russell Pearce represent? Whose interests does he represent? The 8 people in his district that donated money to his campaign, or the dozens of lobbyists and out-of-state special interests that donated to him? That I think is a very important question. I want to turn the time over now to Randy Pottas. Like I said, we have a very historic announcement to make. Randy.
Yes, and immediately following this, we'll continue our statewide recall tour down to Tucson.
We need to switch mics. Oh.
So for the last 130, 135 days, we're tired of dealing with fiction. The fiction of Russell Pearce and the supporters who call his name, say we have nothing but duplicate signatures, everything's invalid, everyone's outside the district. Right? Let's just talk fact today. This is June 15th. Just remind you, total signatures submitted. On May 31st, we submitted 18,315 signatures. Total signatures processed by the Secretary of State and sent to the County Recorder's Office, 16,948, almost 17,000. Total signatures processed as of today, June 15th. Over 13,583 signatures have been processed by the County Recorder's Office. Now get ready for this one, y'all. Total signatures valid as of today, 8,239. Put them up. These are not things that we say are valid. This is what the county recorder is saying is valid as of today. These are signatures that are just, they're so valid, just automatic. It's the first pass through. The other ones that have been claimed invalid will get a second pass and a third pass. At this rate, we have a validity rate of 61%. Our own numbers, we turn them in, put it about 60, 63, so that's matching what we actually checked before we turn them in. And our final projection is that if this continues on with another 3,500 still to be checked, we'll have over 10,338 signatures valid. So with that said, we know that whoever, people say, who's going to be the candidate? I tell you, I don't care if that candidate is Mickey Mouse, they start with 10,000 votes. 10,000 votes when they go out there, because these people have made a decision. I can tell you what, Russell Pearce's people signed this petition to get rid of you. I had plenty of people tell me to my face, no, I will not sign that. These people didn't do that. They signed it because they wanted to, because they believe Russell Pearce is too extreme for Arizona. So with that